The first time my daughter called me crying like that, I knew something was wrong. Not just upset, not just scared. Alone. Completely alone. Mom, her voice cracked through the phone, thin and shaking. Where are you? I froze mid-step, keys still in my hand. I'm on my way home, sweetheart, I said quickly. Why? Where's Aunt Rachel? Silence. Then a small, broken whisper. She left. My chest tightened so fast it felt like I couldn't breathe. What do you mean she left? I was in the bathroom, my daughter said, her words tumbling over each other. And when I came out, she was gone. Her car too. My heart slammed against my ribs. Where are you right now? I'm still here, she said. At the mall. By the big fountain. The mall. Busy. Loud. Full of strangers. And my 7-year-old daughter, alone. My grip tightened around my phone. Listen to me, I said, forcing my voice calm. Don't move. Stay right where you are. I'm coming. Okay, she whispered. The line stayed open. I didn't hang up. I ran. The drive felt endless. Every red light was an enemy. Every slow car in front of me made my chest burn hotter. My sister Rachel had insisted earlier that day. Let me take her out, she said casually. You've been working nonstop. I'll take her shopping. Give you a break. A break. That's what she called it. I should have said no. I should have trusted that feeling in my gut. But Rachel had been different lately. Kinder. More involved. Or at least pretending to be. And I had believed it. That was my mistake. Mama, my daughter's voice came softly through the phone. I'm here, I said immediately. I'm sitting by the fountain like you said, she whispered. There are a lot of people. I know, I said gently. You're doing perfect. Just stay there. A pause. Then, why did she leave me? The question hit harder than anything. I swallowed. I don't know yet, I said honestly. But I would. I would find out exactly why. And when I did, she would regret it. I pulled into the mall parking lot so fast I barely remembered turning the wheel. I didn't even park properly. I just stopped, jumped out, and ran inside. The noise hit me instantly. Voices. Music. Crowds. Too many faces. Too many places a child could disappear. My eyes scanned wildly. Fountain, I muttered under my breath. Fountain. Then I saw it. And I saw her. Small. Sitting exactly where I told her. Hands folded tightly in her lap. Trying so hard to be brave. I ran to her. Hey, hey. She looked up. And the second she saw me, she broke. Mom. She ran straight into my arms, clinging so tightly it hurt. I dropped to my knees, holding her close, my heart pounding against her cheek. I'm here, I whispered. I've got you. Her voice shook against me. She really left. I closed my eyes for a second. Then I pulled back just enough to look at her. Are you okay? Did anyone bother you? She shook her head. I stayed right here. Good. Smart. Strong. My daughter. I stood, still holding her hand tightly. Let's go home. But before we even reached the exit, my phone buzzed. Rachel. My jaw tightened. I answered. What? Her voice came through casual, almost bored. Oh, you found her? Found her. Like she was a lost item. You left a 7-year-old alone in a mall, I said, my voice dangerously quiet. Rachel sighed. Relax. It was for like 10 minutes. 10 minutes. In a crowded public place. With a child. She called me crying, I said. Well, she's dramatic, Rachel replied. My grip on the phone tightened. She was alone. I told her to wait. Rachel snapped. It's not my fault, she panicked. Not her fault. I stopped walking. Why did you leave her? Rachel hesitated. Just for a second. Then, I had something more important to do. More important than a child's safety. My chest went cold. What? I had a meeting, she said quickly. And honestly, you should be thanking me. I watch her all the time. Watch her. Like it was a favor. Like it gave her the right to abandon her. I looked down at my daughter, who was still holding my hand tightly, her eyes red but trying to stay strong. And something inside me shifted. Not loud, not explosive. Quiet, cold, final. I spoke slowly. You left my child alone. Rachel scoffed. Stop making it sound dramatic. I nodded once. Okay. She paused. What does that mean? It means I understand. Rachel laughed lightly. Good, because I'm not apologizing. Of course she wasn't. She never did. I ended the call. My daughter looked up at me. Is Aunt Rachel in trouble? She asked softly. I smiled faintly. No, I said. She just made a choice. And choices have consequences. That night, after my daughter fell asleep, I sat alone in the living room. My phone lit up again. A message from Rachel. Don't start drama over nothing. Nothing. Leaving a child alone in public was nothing to her. I stared at the message. Then I opened something else. A document. A quiet file Rachel didn't know I still had access to. Because Rachel trusted me. The same way I had trusted her. That was her second mistake. I didn't scream. I didn't argue. I didn't post anything. I stayed silent. Because I had just realized something important. Rachel thought this was over. She thought this was just another moment she could walk away from. She was wrong. This wasn't the end. This was the beginning. I didn't confront her again. Not the next day. Not the day after. I didn't call. I didn't argue. I didn't even reply to her messages. Because silence makes people comfortable. And comfortable people make mistakes. Rachel texted twice the next morning. You're really dragging this? Grow up. Then later. Mom says you're overreacting. Of course she did. My mother had always believed Rachel could do no wrong. If Rachel broke something, it was an accident. If Rachel hurt someone, it was misunderstood. If Rachel abandoned a child in a crowded mall, it was somehow my fault for making it dramatic. I didn't answer. Instead, I watched. And I prepared. The document I opened that night wasn't random. It was access. Shared access. Months ago, Rachel had asked me for help. Can you just keep an eye on things? She said casually. In case I'm busy. She meant her business accounts. Her bookings. Her client schedule. Rachel ran a small but growing event planning company. Everything went through one central dashboard. Clients. Payments. Contracts. Reputation. Trust. And Rachel had given me access. Because she trusted me. That was her third mistake. I didn't rush. I didn't act out of anger. I read everything carefully. Every booking. Every upcoming contract. Every signed agreement. And then I saw it. The one thing Rachel cared about more than anything. A major event. Corporate. High profile. The kind of job that didn't just pay well. It built reputation. It made or broke businesses. Date, Friday. Location, Grand Regency Hall. Client, Westbridge Holdings. I leaned back slowly. Rachel had mentioned this event weeks ago. This one changes everything, she said proudly. After this, I'm on a different level. Different level. And now I knew exactly when that level would collapse. I didn't cancel anything. I didn't sabotage anything directly. I simply stopped protecting her. Because Rachel didn't realize something. When she gave me access, she gave me responsibility. And when she broke my trust, I no longer had any reason to carry that responsibility for her. 2 days later, my mother called. Her voice was already irritated. Why are you ignoring your sister? I stayed calm. I'm not. Then answer her, my mother snapped. She said you're acting cold. Cold. I almost smiled. She left my child alone, I said quietly. My mother sighed like I was exhausting her. For 10 minutes. Stop exaggerating. I closed my eyes briefly. Would you leave a child alone in a crowded mall? That's different, she said quickly. How? Silence. Then, you're making this bigger than it is. I nodded slowly. No, I said. I'm seeing it clearly. My mother's tone sharpened. You're going to ruin your relationship over this. Relationship. As if trust wasn't already gone. I whispered. She already ruined it. And I ended the call. That same evening, Rachel posted on social media. A smiling selfie. Caption. Big things coming this week. Comments flooded in. So proud of you. Boss energy. You're winning. Winning. I stared at the screen for a long moment. Then I closed the app. Because real consequences don't happen online. They happen quietly. The day of the event arrived. Friday. I dropped my daughter at school like any normal day. She hugged me a little tighter before getting out of the car. Are you okay? She asked softly. I smiled gently. I am. She nodded. Okay. Kids notice everything, even when you think they don't. As she walked inside, I made a silent promise. No one would ever make her feel unsafe again. Not even family. Especially not family. At 2:17 p.m., my phone buzzed. Rachel. I didn't answer. Then again. Then again. Finally, a message. Call me now. I waited. Another message. What did you do? I exhaled slowly. And then, for the first time since that night, I called her back. She answered instantly, breath sharp with panic. What did you do? She demanded. I leaned against my car, calm. What do you mean? Don't play dumb, she snapped. The venue, my event, it's falling apart. I said nothing. She continued, voice rising. The setup team didn't show. The catering confirmation is missing. The client is furious. I closed my eyes briefly. Everything she relied on. The reminders. The confirmations. The quiet checks that made everything run smoothly. Those had always been me. Not intentionally. Not officially. But consistently. And when she broke my trust, I stopped. Rachel's voice cracked. They're saying I never confirmed final details. That's impossible. I spoke softly. Is it? She froze. Then her tone turned sharp, accusing. You handled some of those things. I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. I used to. Silence. Then realization hit her. You're doing this on purpose. I didn't raise my voice. I'm doing nothing. Her breathing became uneven. You're sabotaging me. I shook my head slowly. No, I said calmly. I just stopped saving you. That silence was heavier than shouting. Rachel's voice dropped, almost a whisper. You're going to ruin me. The same words people always used. When consequences finally arrived, I replied quietly. You left my child alone. Her voice cracked. It was 10 minutes. I closed my eyes. She was scared. Silence. She was alone. More silence. And you didn't care. Rachel's breathing hitched. I said I had something important. And so do I interrupted gently. She stopped. What? My daughter. The line went quiet. Then chaos exploded in the background on her side, voices, shouting, someone calling her name. Rachel's voice came back, frantic. I need you to fix this. I almost smiled. Fix it. Like I always had. Like she expected me to. I whispered. No. Her breath caught. You can't just. I can, I said softly. Because I finally understand something. She didn't speak. You don't value what you have, I continued. You only panic when it's gone. Silence. Heavy. Final. Then I ended the call. Because I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. Rachel's event didn't recover. It didn't bounce back. It didn't get saved at the last minute. Because real collapse doesn't reverse itself just because someone panics. By that evening, the damage was done. Clients had walked out. The venue manager had filed a formal complaint. And the one thing Rachel cared about most, her reputation, was already slipping. I didn't hear it from her. I heard it from someone else. My phone buzzed around 8:30 p.m. An unknown number. I almost ignored it. Almost. Then I answered. Hello. Hi, is this Olivia? Yes. This is Daniel from Westbridge Holdings. The client. Rachel's biggest client. My grip tightened slightly. Yes. He exhaled, frustrated. I don't know what happened today, but that was one of the most unprofessional situations I've ever seen. I stayed quiet. We trusted your sister, he continued. This event was important. And she just lost control of everything. Lost control. I knew that feeling. I had felt it 3 nights ago. Standing outside my own home, holding my daughter's hand, listening to her ask why someone she trusted had left her. Daniel continued. I just wanted to confirm. Are you still associated with her business in any way? There it was. The line. The separation. I answered calmly. No. A pause. All right, he said. Thank you for your time. He hung up. And just like that, Rachel lost more than one event. She lost trust. The next morning, my mother showed up at my door. Unannounced. Of course. She knocked hard. Urgent. Demanding. I opened the door slowly. Her face was tight with anger. You need to fix this. No greeting. No concern. Just control. I leaned against the doorframe. I don't need to do anything. My mother stepped closer, voice sharp. Rachel's business is collapsing. Clients are pulling out. She's panicking. I nodded once. I know. You know, she snapped. And you're just standing here? I met her eyes. She left my daughter alone. My mother threw her hands up. We are not going back to that. I didn't raise my voice. We never left it. She stared at me like I was unreasonable. It was 10 minutes. I tilted my head slightly. Then why is she panicking after one day? Silence. A crack. My mother's lips parted. You're being cruel, she whispered. Cruel. That word again. I shook my head slowly. No, I said. I'm being clear. She stepped closer, lowering her voice like it would change reality. She's your sister. And that's my daughter, I replied. My mother faltered. Just slightly. Then she tried one last time. If you don't help her, this could ruin her future. I looked at her calmly. She should have thought about that before she risked mine. Silence fell between us. Heavy. Unavoidable. My mother's shoulders dropped just a little. For the first time. She didn't have an argument. Just discomfort. She exhaled sharply. You've changed. I almost smiled. No, I said softly. I stopped accepting things I shouldn't. That hit. Because deep down, she knew. She turned toward the door, pausing for a second. This isn't over, she muttered. I didn't respond. Because for me, it was. She left. And the house went quiet again. Peaceful. Safe. That evening, I picked my daughter up from school. She got into the car, buckled her seatbelt, and looked at me carefully. Is everything okay now? She asked. I nodded. Yes. She studied my face for a second, then asked something that stopped me completely. Is Aunt Rachel still mad at me? My chest tightened. Of course she would think that. Of course she would think it was about her. I pulled the car into a quiet side street and turned to face her. Listen to me, I said gently. You did nothing wrong. She nodded slowly. But she left me, she whispered. I swallowed. I know. A pause. Then my daughter said something that hit deeper than anything else in the past 3 days. Then why are we the ones who had to leave? Silence filled the car. Because she was right. We were the ones who walked away. We were the ones who adjusted. We were the ones who carried the weight. I reached over and held her hand. We didn't leave because we had to, I said softly. We left because we deserve better. She looked at me. Really looked. Then she nodded once. Okay. And that was it. No drama. No tears. Just understanding. And in that moment, I knew I had made the right choice. Because revenge isn't always loud. It isn't always about destruction. Sometimes, it's about drawing a line and refusing to cross it again. Rachel thought she could walk away from my child, like it was nothing, like it wouldn't matter. But she was wrong, because the moment she left my daughter alone, she didn't just lose control of her event. She lost access to us. And that was something I was never giving back.